What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Now let's talk about the new global it girl, Tyla. Just a few months ago, nobody outside of South Africa really knew her name. Then boom, she drops water. And suddenly, she's the face of Afropop, walking red carpets, bagging interviews, and even winning a Grammy. But behind all that glitter and glory, there's a dark cloud forming. Let's get right to it. Two collaborators have come forward claiming that Tyla and her team owe them royalties for their contributions to Water, the song that literally catapulted her into stardom, the one that got billions of streams and went platinum, might not even be fully hers. That's not just drama, that's dangerous, because at this level, music royalties are the backbone of your long-term success. If there's already controversy over one of your first hits, that's not a good sign. And let's be honest, Tyla's only at the start of her career. So if these kinds of lawsuits are popping up now, what's next? This lawsuit isn't just about royalties, it points to something deeper. Poor administrative and commercial handling of Tyla's launch. I'm talking bad contracts, shady management, and artists being rushed to fame with no real control over their work. It's given TLC, Tinashe, and even Fifth Harmony. All these stars that came out hot but got caught in deals that nearly destroyed their careers. When an artist is young, new, and hungry to make it, the vultures come out. Labels know that, managers know that. The industry thrives on it. Let's not act like we haven't seen this story before. Tyla is standing at a critical crossroads, and when I say we have seen it before, I mean exactly that. The industry has a long track record of chewing up young female talent and spitting them out broke, overworked, or trapped in endless contract drama. Let's go way back to TLC. These women were selling 10 million albums, 10 million, and only receiving 50,000 a year. Imagine that. Tour buses, award shows, platinum plaques, and you're basically living paycheck to paycheck. They got caught in a deal where their success didn't translate into personal wealth, just fame. And when they tried to speak out about it, like in the iconic clip where they exposed their contract on national TV, people finally woke up to what's really going on.
We have been in this business for 5 years, and we are broke as broke can be, and we're not like trying to be a sad story.
Tinashe, same pattern. She had everything, the voice, the look, the performance talent, but she got tangled in labor politics and overpromising managers. Her music was shelved, her marketing was sloppy, and now she's had to claw her way back independently. And it's only now, years later, that she's starting to get some traction again. That's not how a talented artist should have to move. And then there's Fifth Harmony. The group had internal drama and poor management from the jump. Eventually, they cracked under pressure. Camila left, and now we hear whispers of a reunion tour. Maybe. But even if it happens, it won't erase the fact that the group collapsed because of bad contracts and mismanagement, not a lack of talent. Now, let's talk about Rihanna. We love her, but part of the reason she's not releasing music right now is because she's been through it. She used to drop albums every year. 8 albums in 8 years. That's not creativity, that's slavery. Now that she's older and wiser, you can tell she's rebelling. She's built Fenty, she's built Savage X, she's living on her own terms, and the music, she's holding it back. Why? Because she knows what that machine does to people. Same goes for Beyonce. We don't talk enough about how she had to fight her way into ownership. She created Parkwood, she took control. That's why she moves like a boss now. But I just hope that she didn't go from being exploited to becoming the exploiter, especially with the way Chloe and Halle's career are being managed. So when I look at Tyla, I can't help but wonder, is she the next Rihanna or the next Tinashe? Is this lawsuit the beginning of her losing control over her art, or the wake-up call she needs to take control now? Real quick, if you're enjoying this breakdown, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Water wasn't just a song, it was her big break, her global entrance. So the fact that it's already surrounded by legal drama is a huge red flag. Tyla is still young, she just blew up, and already she's getting sued for royalties. That tells me there's either bad management behind her, or bad contracts she doesn't understand. Either way, it's not a good look. And this is where she needs to be smarter than the people around her. First of all, she can't rely solely on her label or her manager. A lot of these managers are either too inexperienced, too comfortable, or too aligned with the label's interests. She needs to expand her team, bring in a financial advisor and a lawyer who are not tied to the label, people who actually will advocate for her. Second, she needs to educate herself. Even if you're an artist, you have to understand the business. Read the contracts, learn from publishing rights, know who owns your masters, because the truth is, the music industry runs like a microplantation. They glamorize artists, give them jewelry, clothes, a flashy lifestyle, and behind the scenes, it's exploitation. You're making pennies on the dollar for every stream while the label eats. Tyla still has time to get ahead of this. She should protect her voice, her brand, and her ownership before it's too late. And if this lawsuit is legit, if those collaborators were truly exploited, then she needs to face it. But if it's just people trying to piggyback on her success, then she also needs legal protection now before it gets worse. Because history has shown us, once the machine takes over, it's hard to get out. When I look at Tyla, I don't just see a rising star. I see someone at a dangerous fork in the road. I hope she's not going through the same mess that TLC, Tinashe, and Fifth Harmony went through. But I also know that a lot of these artists suffer in silence, and we only find out 10 or 20 years later when they finally speak out. So if Tyla's already getting sued at the peak of her breakout, that tells me something's already off behind the scenes. Thanks for watching and sticking with me to the end. Do you think Tyla is being exploited by the industry, or is this just another case of people trying to cash in on her success? I want to hear from you. Whether you're a fan of Tyla, a critic of the industry, or just curious about how this all works behind the scenes, I appreciate you for tapping in. See you in the next one.